2 weeks after President Trump's primetime address, the White House continues to claim that China interfered in American elections. The administration released a new fact sheet approved by several U.S. intelligence agencies. It says China collected millions of American voter registration files, including some data it claims was not publicly available. But election experts dispute that, saying most voter registration data is public in many states, and there's still no evidence any votes or election results were altered. China has denied interfering in U.S. elections. Joining me now is CBS News election law expert and political contributor David Becker. Thanks, David, for your time today. The White House is doubling down on claims of Chinese election interference, but did we learn anything new there?
Not really. It was a pretty odd release yesterday. It makes it seem as if the White House is very aware that that speech that the president gave in prime time 2 weeks ago fell completely flat. It didn't have any new evidence in it. And if there was anything we really learned yesterday or today with this new release is that the president, the White House, and virtually no one in the administration actually understands how elections work in the United States. As you noted, they made these allusions to possible non-public data being included in the records that China had acquired. And yet, when asked for examples of that, a White House official said, for instance, phone numbers, dates of birth, and voting history, and political party. And yet all of those are public in a lot of states' voter files. The phone number is public in 13 states, which make up about 25% of the American population. The date of birth is available in about 14 states that make up about half of the American population. Ohio literally puts its voter file online. Anyone can find it right now and includes the date of birth as part of that public voter file. Voting history is available and political party in almost every state. And that's because the parties like to use this information to engage in voter outreach. And it's remarkable the White House still doesn't understand that.
Yeah, and so based on what you've said there and knowing that voter registration files are public in many states, just how significant are these new allegations from a legal and election security standpoint?
They're not significant at all. That's a very easy one. And they're not new. I mean, there were public statements by officials in the Trump administration in 2020 acknowledging that China was likely collecting this information on individuals. And that includes from people like the then director of national intelligence, John Ratcliffe, who is now currently the CIA director, who's apparently one of those officials who signed off on this statement yesterday. It'd be really interesting to ask why John Ratcliffe has not been made available for questions on this, because his experience spans the entire process. But the administration would have us believe that if you have this public information, even phone numbers or dates of birth, that you can alter or change or delete voters' records in the systems. That is 100% false. There's not a single state where that's possible. And voters should kind of understand that, because if that had happened, we would have seen hundreds of thousands of voters having problems on election days in recent elections. And quite the contrary, we've actually seen the highest turnout smoothly in federal elections that we've ever seen in most recent elections.
A very important conversation to have right now, especially with the midterms just around the corner. David Becker, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks.